This all started with a phone call that I got this April. So, hi, Michelle. This is Louis Dalton from the front office of the St. Louis Cardinals, calling to introduce myself as your personal Cardinals contact. And I thought, wow, I've bought hundreds of baseball tickets over the years, and I've never gotten a phone call or anything much beyond really that, flyer that I'll get from a team at the beginning of the season telling me what their games were. I'm like, that's good personalized marketing. But then I thought, I share a lot of my data with MLB because I've got the app, I'm an MLB TV subscriber, I've bought tickets online, and yet that's the first time I've ever gotten any kind of really personalized marketing. So I wrote an article on LinkedIn kind of about my thoughts, and somehow ended up then connecting with Maria Terrell, who invited me to come here and speak with you guys about the use of data. So my exercise here was to go look at other industries, look outside of media, and find out what they're doing in terms of using their data in order to help them grow their business. I dug a little bit deeper. In fact, Rob Vasshold from the St. Louis Cardinals, after reading this article that I wrote on LinkedIn about that experience, contacted me, because they're looking for ways to get people into the building, because then they can create a wow moment, then they can build a relationship, then they can find that opportunity to put the picture of the father and the son that's going to sit on the coffee table for years and bring them on board. Tim Zhu from the Red Sox spends a lot of time talking about the 360-degree customer profile, and they really have focused on that. They are have a centralized data platform in which they're bringing in ticket sales, merchandise, social, email, all the things that I was just talking about. So when they're talking to a guy who's traditionally bought Sunday tickets, and as they look a little deeper, they know that he's got a family, they can personalize that conversation and sell them weekend packages, sell them family packages, which is a completely different conversation than their sales rep will have with the guy who's buying premium tickets, weeknight tickets. Having those different conversations helps them better sell, helps them better market to people, and builds that client relationship. So I ask you to think about, if you're building those customer profiles, is your marketing to your audience, are you using that? Or are you, directing that same messaging out to everybody? That he's picking the data that makes sense for them. He doesn't care so much anymore about the gender, age, and race of the customers. He's actually much more concerned about the mindset of the customer, their motivation for traveling, and the types of activities that they engage in. Those are the things that are helping them make decisions, particularly shaping their marketing decisions. The lesson here, stop down, think a little bit. Okay, you've got a lot of information. What are the most relevant parts of the information? And then maybe what are some of the outside of the box ways that you can be marketing to people once you know a little bit more about them. Third category I mentioned, subscription retailers. These are probably the folks that are most like you. Right now they're trying to sell a box of something that's going to show up on a regular basis to your house. And 7 years ago, this industry didn't exist. There were no subscription retailers in what we call it today. And now there's 10,000 of them. So this is growing really fast, and they're all brand new. So they have to find ways to stand out, touch points. In these industries, they're primarily using direct mail, they're doing a lot of SMS, and they're doing email to welcome those customers, make them feel special. That brand new customer, you want to keep them as long as you can, and if you're making them feel special from the beginning, you're going to be able to keep them more. They don't even talk about telemarketing, which I'm assuming is still a big portion of what you guys are doing to welcome those new customers. So again, think about those different touch points that you can use to make those new customers feel welcome. When a customer leaves, they want to know why. So they're asking them for feedback. Are you asking for that feedback every time? Are you tracking if they're still browsing your website? That's what they're doing. They're making sure they're tracking. So if people are coming back to the website, they can use that, especially if you've got that 360 view of the customer. They also are making an assumption that it wasn't an easy decision for somebody to decide to cancel. So instead of going after them with hard sell pitches in order to get them to come back, they're using much more lighthearted type of friendly messaging. So again, thinking about your own analysis internally, how are you doing that? And Octopus, Embracing Your Data, has 8 arms. And so we've got 8 takeaways here for you quickly. The first one being unify your data. And I think most of you are already doing this. It is the place to start picking all the places where that data is living. And I've been through this exercise with lots of newspapers, is where can you uncover that data and bring it all together in one place. Augmenting your data. Once you've got that data, then being able to add and augment it with third-party data. So you can build that deeper view that Tim Zhu of the Red Sox was talking about, and knowing who your customers are. Designate a data champion, because if you put the investment in it, there's so much that you can get out of it. So making sure you have one person within your organization who really is empowered to look at the data and then make recommendations based on that information. Swim in multiple lanes. This is a quote from the Hilton VP of Marketing, and I really liked it. And you know, they have a product, a bed and a shower for people who are not at home. That's what Hilton does. And yet they have the Waldorf Astoria, the DoubleTree, the Hilton, the Homewood Suites, the Hampton, and the True brands. And as I say each one of those, I'm sure in your head you're automatically associating different types of people with the different types of products. I challenge you to think about, all right, well, we've got content that we're creating, and for the most part, we're either putting it on our website or we're putting black and white on somebody's front stoop. What other ways can you be swimming in multiple lanes? Can you be creating a once-a-week product that's targeted to millennials that shows up in their mailbox or on their front stoop if they're not going to buy 7-day? Can you create an app that they're willing to pay for that gives them the entertainment, food, the what's happening around town? So think about who your audience is as you're looking at it and figure out different ways to distribute your content so that you're swimming in multiple lanes. Roll out the red carpet. That's the welcoming piece of it. It's probably the easiest thing that you could take away from today is thinking about how you're welcoming your customers. Email marketing, for example, very cost-effective way for you to do it. Wrap all 8 arms around them. So this is back to the omni-channel marketing. I know from lots of conversations that I would find out that, yeah, we sent out a reacquisition offer. It was a flyer that was in a single copy, or it was a mailer that we did. That was the only place that marketing message was getting out, again, in talking to newspapers. Well, it needs to be in Facebook, in email, on your website, in different channels if you want to be able to capture their attention and get them to come back or to start in the first place. Unboxing the product. We talked about looking at the clothes in the box. People really do care about journalism, so you're in a powerful position. Can you unbox it? Can you open up the veil behind what you're doing and make that more relevant for people and make them really experience it? I think about The Daily, the podcast that the New York Times does. It does give a little peek behind the curtain about how the stories are made. So can you create closer connections with your customers or potential customers by unboxing the product? And then the last point is create a wow moment. This really started with the fact that I had a wow moment with the St. Louis Cardinals that caused me to write an article that got Maria to contact me and had me be here with you today. And now I'm telling the whole group of people, what kind of wow moments are you creating in your communities and with your readership that's going to have them talking about you? Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. And man, I just right on top of it. You got a question 1 or 2?
Michelle, you were so on top of that. Thank you so much. Please give it up to Michelle.